Oh, he's got a whole chapter. He's got a whole chapter on trans issues. Sure that's enlightening. When I was a boy, I wanted to be a Decepticon named Soundwave. Oh, I do have something I can talk about in relation to my computer. All right, I said 3 weeks ago that I was going to put together the greatest show on the internet, and I think I achieved that. I'm proud of my accomplishment there. The high-level ideas has now surpassed anything else that existed before it. It's quite an endeavor. But I also had a lot of debts to pay, so I'm happy to say that in the name of both Thought Slime and Lucid Fox, $101 has been donated to the Indigenous Women's Foundation of Canada, an organization that helps out Indigenous and LGBTQIA+ and Two-Spirit individuals in a variety of means. So that's wonderful. That got raised. But the first game had some things in it. So I'm also so proud to reveal to you that I have received a copy of That's alright. Hey, I got it used. That's why it took a little longer. I didn't buy the Amazon Prime. Could have arrived in one day. I got this used. I only have one copy because the other two copies were like $45. So I'm gonna wait until another couple more used copies come on before I can pay all my debts. But I got some of my debt. Some of my debt. Figured we might take a little look inside. What's underneath the surface of Mr. Dave Rubin's Don't Burn This book? I did notice right away, the very front page. Topical, engaging, personable, and above all, reassuring by Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. Wonderful. That was one of the only quotes I could find about the book, however. He does, on the first page, have praise for Dave Rubin, but it's not actual praise for this novel. It's just people making generic quotes about him. As in Larry King, Dave Rubin is one of a kind, truly a great interviewer, bright, curious, and funny. Tucker Carlson, Dave Rubin is one of the bravest, smartest people I know, as well as a tremendous television presence. How about that? What else is of note as you open this? Oh, who's it dedicated to? Who do you guess, chat? Who do you guess this is dedicated? Not a single one of you will be able to get it. I promise you. Try. Come on, chat. Okay, all of guesses: Ben Shapiro, Ayn Rand, Reagan himself, Adam Smith, George Bush, his mom, George Orwin, his daughter, American's God. No one's gotten it yet. Sam Cedar, Che, me, no. Obama, Hitler, no. America, no. Ronald Reagan, Karl Marx. Y'all are never gonna guess it. I was astounded. Fucking Batman. Ben Affleck. I know. I don't think so. I was like, for Ben Affleck. What is this? That's got to have something to do with the Sam Harris thing, right? It's the only thing that makes sense. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense to me. Chapter 1 is called "It's Time to Come Out," because of course he compares coming out of the closet to the experience of coming out as a conservative. Yeah. The original title for this book was "Why I Left the Left." For many months, the master plan was to give a definitive account of my political evolution. But as soon as I cashed the publisher's advance check, I decided that wasn't the book I wanted to write. Oh, he's honest. You're just like, oh, money. Oh, I spent all the money. Oh, I have to write a book. You don't need me to go on for 250 pages about how the left has completely lost its mind. You already know this, at least on an intellectual level, and you probably appreciate why I, a former lifelong lefty, have changed my allegiances. This is because, as I haven't said it on the Rubin Report enough already, the left is now regressive, not progressive. What was once the side of free speech and tolerance, the one that said, I may disagree with what you have to say, but I will fight to the death for your right to say it, now bans speakers from college campuses, cancels people that aren't up to date on the latest genders, and forces Christians to violate their conscience. My word. My word. It goes, I mean, that's pretty much the quality of writing, I think, through most of it. Embrace your wake-up call. It's the catalyst that brought you to these pages in the first place. Think freely or die. You'll get a much-needed crash course in the classically liberal principles that stand the test of time.
Stop hating America, the West, and straight white men. I say this as a gay guy.
Find a mentor. Embrace your wake-up call. Just like, my God. Oh, he's got a whole chapter. He's got a whole chapter on trans issues. Sure that's enlightening. When I was a boy, I wanted to be a Decepticon named Soundwave. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, sorry, I have to be kind here. Let's Alas, medical science in the 1980s wasn't advanced enough to swamp my body for that of a futuristic robot that turned itself into a cassette player. This devastated the 6-year-old me for at least 48 hours, maybe even a bit longer. But by the time I became an adult, I was furiously happy that I wasn't given the option at all. First, I was way too young to make such a big decision. Second, which public bathroom does a transformer even use these days? Alright, maybe I'm being a little snarky, but the only way I can think of getting into this whole transgender debate is with a little humor. The only other option might be to encourage compassion for trans people and their struggle for dignity, but I would hope this already goes without saying. So let me present the classically liberal perspective on this issue. Every human being should be free to modify their body however they see fit, but only when they're an adult. Relax. This isn't reverse ageism or far-right transphobia. It's consistent with how we treat all minors who are considered intellectually incapable of reasoned logic. It's why we don't allow kids to get tattoos, buy firearms, drink alcohol, or smoke until they've grown up, and if they do, then you should expect a visit from Child Protective Services. The idea isn't random. It's because the young person's frontal lobe, the brain's control panel, oh go on neurologist, which manages problem solving, judgment, and emotion, takes years to fully develop. The general consensus is that the brain's development is largely finished by 18 years old and then fully complete 7 years later. Until the former, they must defer to us, the adults who know better. This is a universally held truth, yet we are now allowing record numbers of young children, some as young as 4 years old, to change their gender through invasive surgery and potential puberty blockers. No, potent puberty blockers. It goes on like this for a while. Classical liberals. So in essence, let's respect trans people as individuals the same way we would respect anyone else, but let's protect young people from overzealous activists caught up in the wokeness of the day. The trans issue is particularly interesting because it directly affects such an infinitesimally small fraction of the population. While the group people is worthy of equality and protection, ask yourself why this topic is being relentlessly pushed so hard. Is it of genuine concern, or another excuse to virtue signal while telling us how to think and feel? That's a topic for a whole other book, but you probably already know the answer. I now go from the trans question to economics. He just jumps all over the place. All over the place. My word. Don't worry, you're not a Nazi. Chapter 4. I mean, if you gotta ask, if you gotta, like, people who are Nazis usually don't need to read a chapter in a book called "Don't Worry, You're Not a Nazi" to not be Nazis. It's not like, oh, phew. It's a good thing Dave wrote that book. Okay, have you turned to chapter 4? It's good. No, that one's good. I was like, for a while I was worried if I was a Nazi, but then Dave Rubin's book, chapter 4, "Don't Worry, You're Not a Nazi," and clearly, I mean, it's in writing, right?
Congratulations! I have fantastic news. You are not a Nazi. You may be wondering how I know this, considering we've probably never met, but trust me, I know. What's vital going forward is that you know this too. See, we live in strange times, very strange times, an era in which people secretly hope you're a Nazi, because then at least you'd have a real villain to rage against.
How long is this chapter? Jesus. This is how long it takes him to explain to people, to make them feel good about themselves that they're not Nazis. We're still going. You're still not a Nazi, don't worry. And there we are. And then that moves you right into check your facts, not your privileges. Of course. That's good. Facts don't care about your feelings. The war on women, aka, oh, he's back into the trans issue now. He's in the gun control. Hate crimes. Hate crimes is short. Just like the supply for Nazis frequently fails to meet the demand, the same can be said for hate crimes. We're constantly told that these are increasingly common in response to Donald Trump's presidency, but just a number of recent hoaxes, including the infamous Jussie Smollett case, shows progressives are filling a void with fake claims. That's not to say hate crimes don't happen, of course, but the evidence paints a complicated picture, and one that undermines the assumption that perpetrators are always straight white men in MAGA hats. Kentucky State University police science professor Wilfred Riley, who just happens to be black in case that sort of thing matters to you, documented 400 cases of hate crime hoaxes between 2015 and 2019, and they're just the ones that have been exposed. There's very little brutally violent racism in modern America, he told USA Today. There are less than 7,000 real hate crimes reported in a typical year. Interracial crime is quite rare. 84% of white murder victims and 93% of black murder victims are killed by criminals of their own race, just so you know. And the person most likely to kill you is your ex-wife or your ex-husband. Wow. He goes on from that to environmental issues, if you'd like to know Dave Rubin's take on that. Then goes into food shortage. Doesn't talk about buckets, extreme weather, downplays it, polar bears, wow. Makes fun of Al Gore's inconvenient truth. Downplays it. Never surrender to the mob. Can you imagine, like, unironically purchasing this and being like, oh, thank God someone's saying this. Chapter 7, stop hating straight white men, America, and Western values. This whole thing just oozes like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say now? Learn how to spot the fake news. Find a mentor. Oh, his is, oh, does he ever gush over Jordan Peterson in this? 12 rules, 12 rules, 12 rules. Jordan Petticat, 12 rules. Crisis averted. The 12 rules are still in effect. No one is an expert on everything. There are hierarchies. Lobsters, Q&A, dress better, clean your room, Jordan Peterson, still Jordan Peterson. Admit that we need religious stories, finding God, my turn to godhood, embrace parenthood, embrace Christian values, embrace traditional family values, laugh, you can change the world, move on with your life. That was fast. Chapter 10. After all that, you know, just move on with your life. God damn. I mean, so what was the point of this whole thing? Like, could have just said that.
Just get over it. Thinking for yourself is all you need in the age of reason.
Oh, and that's the end. He ends on get over it, basically. Cool. Well, I'm going to call this one just Privilege the Book. That's pretty much it.
Well, I can't, Lance. You see, I'm a liberal, a classical liberal, and I'm gay. So I don't actually have what you progressives like to call privilege. That's you virtue signaling.
So does this one go to Mike from Pa? Mike from Pa or the Humanist Report? Because one of them gets one copy, and then I got to get the other 2 copies to one of the other ones. Also, I figured burning this book is exactly what he wants to do. But I mean, if any of you just want to take a sweet page, you know, rip that page out and then use it to fill with whatever products you might have at your home. You know, it could be some pipe tobacco. I don't want to, you know, recommend things that you should or should not do. And then, you know, twist one up, fill it with whatever substances you want, and then get yourself a nice old Reuben spliff going. Then, you know, that's entirely up to you. That's on you to decide. Obviously, I mean, either Mike from PA or the Humanist Report will get to decide what they use the pages of this pristine novel to craft. But you know, smoke them if you got them. I guess is going to be the lesson from this.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Can you do the thing, you know, that thumbs up and comment and all those things that help us out in the algorithm that controls every aspect of our lives? Also, if you happen to have a Facebook account, can you delete it? Like, just delete it. You should probably delete your Facebook account because it's not a great company. But hey, if you can't do that for whatever reason, I understand. And could you also go to facebook.com/thesurftimes then and give us a little like and a follow. We're just trying to push back against the fact that people like Ben Shapiro happen to dominate the platform entirely.
And when everyone asks why do older generations believe the things they believe, one of the problems is the majority of them on social media use Facebook. So to counter that, we're just going to be on there too now. Also, if you happen to have a union or a worker co-op or even a leftist project, podcast, website, Zoom, MySpace, it doesn't matter. We will advertise it for free on this channel. All you got to do is go to weareserfs.com and use the forms that we got there, weareserfs.com. Thanks, everybody.
To our glorious gods, Xander Corvus and I'm Rav, may you shower us with glory and smite our enemies. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we serve at your leisure, your grace. To our lords, Toefox, Bisexual Black Gamer, Jimothy K. Meeble Beeps Jr., Ryan Lubin, Trevor R., Jeffrey Lamb, Alexander Thaler, and Hans Josephine, we shall carry your banner high into the fields of battle. To our Knights of the Round Table, Timothy Hart, Trevor Janis, Lemmy 101, Anthropophagic, Saren 42, Chronic de Hemphog, Kale Kotka, The Great Pudini, Bone Jenny, Catherine, Radical Maniac, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, J. Fraser Cartwright, Thomas Barrington, Jimmy Bignuts, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Political Puppy, Andreas Chitoro, Goofalankius, Zach Christensen, Nicholas Marks, Yopi, Josh Mickelson, Melissa Murphy, Todd Buckingham, Todd Lajeunesse, Constance Joyce Lacheris. We lift our glasses of ale and we salute you.